Yeah, it's right here.
Here, I guess. Need my coat, maybe? I brought it just in case.
Just feel damp out and.
Yeah.
Did you say golf league started the year first tonight? Did they play?
Yeah. They all, they all met and they talked about it. They decided to go out and play, and the two people that run the league decided to quit first.
There you go.
And my league just didn't go out because I was like, I have council and it's just two of you, so why don't you just push it back a week? So. Paul will love our problems with our Lindsay.
We got problems?
Oh, we've always had problems with that league, but it's like hearts, I can't.
Oh, no.
They were supposed to be here last week. They're not here till next month.
You guys are all set.
Yeah, so I've rented 10 cars.
All right, we're all set, I guess.
All right. Call the meeting to order. So we do a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Who hasn't led us in the pledge of allegiance? Mercy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep. All right, do we have any public comments? Anybody online?
Nope.
Nope. All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, can we get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
I make motion.
Okay, any discussion, any questions on it? All right, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Minutes from the last meeting have been approved. Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report from April?
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's
And second.
Okay, any discussion, any questions, any comments on that? All right, all in favor of approving the treasurer's report from April, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right. Okay, need to get a motion to open the public hearing for the proposed budget.
Make motion. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right, public hearing is open for the budget. Any questions, any comments? Let's go.
Yeah.
It is required that we discuss the millage rates that are gonna support this budget. So we have 14.2643 for the city operating millage rates, the road fund 1.94. The library 0.9359, the fire 0.9359, and the ambulance mills are 2, for a total of 20.0761.
Thank you.
Yes.
How we discuss them? That was some pretty specific number, like.
All right, any other discussions, things we need to do?
With the budget, is that the one? This is the one that we're going over for the dollar for the city too, right? For the city workers.
Yeah.
Did that include the library too?
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure. That's why I figured.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
That's why the library millage is in there, 0.9359, so that's what supports the library's budget.
Awesome.
Okay, any other discussion on the proposed budget? We need to get a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes.
Yep. All right, can I get a motion to
Make a motion.
It's okay.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right, public hearing for the proposed budget has been closed. All right, so now we need to get authorization to sign the Zignick and Company engagement letter. So. Should-
It should go digital, just click and it goes right there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Look at you.
Not paperwork, could have saved tree lump.
Great. All right. Is this for, what is this for, Paula?
So these are the financial advisors that sell the bonds for us, and they have a fee. And then these are the services that they'll provide. We've been using them for over 20 years. We're not required to bid out services of professional services. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't, but
Right.
when we decided to issue bonds, I just used the ones we've always used.
Which makes sense. Have you had any issues at all?
No, they always do a great job for us. They're very responsive, do a bit, they get what I need and so. They offered to be here tonight, but I really didn't think it was necessary
Yeah.
just for this engagement letter. So,
Sure.
no, if I knew it was raining, I wouldn't have messed up his golf game. I would have just said, go ahead. But, you know. So basically, this is I need authorization to sign this. And get it sent back to them so that they can put the bonds out a bit.
So can we get a motion?
I make a motion.
I second that.
Okay, any more discussion, any questions, any? Pretty straightforward, this is, yeah. So, all right, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Right.
All opposed, say aye. Okay,
Can we just do a roll call on
oh,
that?
yes, I'm sorry, you're,
No, that's
you are
fine.
correct, nope, you're right, let's do a roll call.
Let's start with Nichols,
Yes.
Beavers,
Yes.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Keesler.
Yes. All right, can I get a motion for the resolution 2308 authorizing issuance of 2023 capital improvement bonds?
This goes right along with that.
Yes.
This was
Yeah.
prepared by Miller Canfield, who are the bond attorneys. So the other company is the municipal finance officers, and these are the bond attorneys.
I make a motion.
I second.
If you guys want to look into what those two different things do, good luck. I've been trying to keep up, but I don't know.
I mean, I read through it, yeah, it's confusing, but they know what they're doing.
This was,
So what this is,
$2
is,
billion?
yep, our $1 million bonds. And then again, this authorizes Benzinski to go ahead and, issue out what they need to do. And it really lays out everything that they need to do in here. And then what we have to do, so.
And then what you have to do.
And this, resolution will be signed by the mayor and myself authorizing the sale of these bonds.
any more discussion? All right, let's do a roll call on this one also. I'm guessing, so.
Nichols.
Yes.
Beavers.
Yeah.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Keesler.
Yes. All right, resolution 2308, the authorized issuance of the capital improvement bond has been approved. Next item, Tricia Neff, resignation from the library board. We have a letter. She has moved, I think.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got site savings.
Yeah.
From my neighborhood.
Okay. Can no longer be on the library board, so. Can I get a motion to
Make a
accept?
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Does anybody have any discussion? Let's skip that. Yeah, all opposed, say aye. Hey, Tricia's resignation has been accepted. All right, appointment to the library board, so we now need somebody to fill. You have somebody?
Yeah, I missed that meeting.
They didn't send me anything, so I don't
As far
have
as I know.
information. I mean, there was somebody mentioned in the minutes,
Maybe they
but
didn't appoint, they did do that.
they talked about it, but no one, they
They didn't
typically,
vote on it, I wasn't there. to do-
well, typically you guys want a letter or something, and
From
we have
her.
some paperwork that needs to be
Okay.
filled out.
No, that's fine.
So you-
They do have somebody in there.
Yep, we knew they did. Okay. We will handle that, table that for the next meeting. Number 8, Richard Freidenberg has resigned from the planning commission. Again, we have a letter. Can I get a motion to accept that resignation?
I make motion.
Okay, I know he's moving up north somewhere.
I second it, but I do not accept his.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be the soon, I guess.
Yeah.
I told him I didn't
He's
accept
already
it.
changed his address, actually.
Oh, really?
Right after he turned that in,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Wow.
It's up in the Grayling area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds.
Yeah, his barn dominion. So,
Hmm.
all right, all in favor of accepting? Everybody except for Dina? All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye.
I do.
All right, resignation has been accepted. All right, and then we need somebody for the planning commission then, and we're looking for ideas, suggestions. You know that he's resigned. So,
let's put it out there on our website that we're looking.
but do they have to be in the city?
We actually have different rules, so it depends on who we already have on there.
Okay,
Has to be a council member, but some, yes. Like a council member has to be on it,
right,
so-
yeah, right,
but they don't all have to.
they don't have.
Right, so like recommendations are like people from the school, people from the business district, people, I mean, it doesn't necessarily always have to be someone, a city resident, I don't think on the planning.
I don't believe so.
Because I think Dean was on there before he moved back into town, and now he's moved back out of town and can still stay on there, so. So we would have to look at what we have, but if we get somebody who wants to serve, then we'll check it out.
All right. Next one, approval of the assessing services contract. This is for. Well, let me explain. what this
That's
is.
the city assessor.
Yep.
It's called HSC Services, but I mean, we just call her Heidi.
Heidi.
So-
Yeah. But it's Heidi's
Yeah,
name on it,
her
and it didn't-
name is Heidi, her husband's name is Steve, and their last name is Cunningham, so,
Scott, her son.
no, Scott's her husband.
Oh, Scott's her husband.
But her husband, her son, John,
John.
he comes sometimes, but. So this is their contract, we renew it annually, usually they raise it $50 here or there, but I mean, it's nothing.
I mean, they're doing a good job for the city.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have any issues or complaints, anyone who's sat on the board of review might be able to, discuss that.
She knows her stuff, definitely.
Yeah,
and
and
it
they-
makes
they
it
have,
easy
like-
to Go through.
Yeah, it's not like just her, they have a company and they have a bunch of people, but she's usually the one that comes here, so.
Gotcha.
And when I did not understand anything, she could explain it to me in like regular terms, so. In the time that I was on board review, it was all right, it was good.
Paula said, kind of what you're saying, we didn't have any issues. We had people came in, but after talking to us, after we got our information from Heidi and Heidi explaining it, everybody was fairly happy, so.
Well, I don't have a problem to,
Yeah,
with us, so.
Yep.
Just want to know if everything was kosher with her and if
Yep.
we had any problems, and
good question, good question. All right,
That was a motion.
I make motion.
I second that.
all right. Money, do we need to roll on?
Yes,
Okay,
Miller,
Yes.
oh, whoops, I skipped. Miller, Allen,
Yes,
Nichols.
Yes.
Beavers.
Yeah.
Judd.
yeah.
I was waiting for it.
yes,
I tried to
Alright.
start with you this time and I messed it up, so whatever.
The assessing services contract has been approved. All right, item 10, Apex software.
So it's like a sketching program that will allow us to put sketch, like, we have these old record cards that are all filed in the cabinet and they have hand-drawn things of houses on them. Well, this will allow her to sketch them in Apex. And it'll be available on our software instead of in the file cabinet. So if somebody calls and wants to sketch, we can just pull it up, push the button. She asked me for this, and as far as I know, it's, moving the right direction. And it's only $655, but I'm sure, I believe there is an annual fee with this, and it's probably about that. To keep up the software.
Pretty
She
neat.
is Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this came from,
Yeah.
Heidi
yeah.
requested this,
Got it,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it shows here that, in the first year, everything, and maintenance for each additional year of maintenance and support is $260
Oh, there you go. I knew that, I mean, it's,
right
that's
there.
not as bad as I thought then, but I figured it would probably be like $500. 'Cause- So, yep,
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion, that's cool.
Second,
I'll second
any other discussion on this? All right, all in favor, money again.
we should probably do it. I'm
Yep.
trying to do it right this time.
Okay.
Nichols,
Yes.
Beavers,
Yeah.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Geisler.
Yep.
I'm trying to look at my cards. Check them out.
Very patriotic
All
over
right.
here.
The Apex software acquisition has been approved. Number 12, proposal for engineering services for the street rehabilitation. Let's go back to our earlier ones,
Yes, so Adam is here from C2AE who can explain some things. He will probably be able to talk about number 12 and number 13. And then there's also one more that's not on here, which is the crack ceiling, which we're gonna deal with under others. So if you want to just talk about them all right now, and when we get ready, or if they want to vote on that now, they can do that too. Does that
Sure.
make sense?
So the proposal that's in front of you today for the street work is for the construction services. So this is for construction contract administration, interacting with the contractor, making sure we're staying on task, field observation, being out in the field and staying on top of what work's being completed and helping to coordinate the communication from the contractor to the city as well, so that we can try to keep everybody informed as to.
And the residents, I mean, we have some of those issues. If we have a driveway that's an issue, it really helps when they have somebody out there, because the contractor is looking out for the contractor, and so these guys are looking out for us. So they're out there making sure that the right product is being put down and it's being applied appropriately.
These are unit price contracts, so we're doing measurements in the fields to make sure that we're getting what we're paying for. We're also looking in this as well, and potential for some additional items being able to come into the construction contract, so I have a little bit of time here.
And the contract manual is like about this thick, and so they're also making sure that the contractor is like doing everything they're supposed to do in there. Within the timeframes they're supposed to do it, and I think, it's something that Dave and I really don't want or are able.
so you're kind of
to do.
functioning as our project.
Yep.
For them, for the construction.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Do we have a motion? Without having.
A motion
Motion
to,
accept the proposal.
Yep, authorizing me to sign this proposal.
I make a motion to authorize you to sign this proposal.
I second that.
Okay. Any other questions, any discussions? I mean, we've already kind of gone through what we're doing, what's happening on the roads. And so this is just kind of a watchdog, project management, FC2AE duty. So, any other discussion, any other questions?
Excited.
All right, let's have a roll call.
All right. Nichols.
Yes.
Beavers.
Yeah.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes. All right. Next one is generator. Can we get a motion?
And he can talk about the generators if you want.
Yeah,
Give you a
okay,
little brief of what we got going on there.
okay, go ahead.
Sure, so we advertised and did for the two generators that we had been planning for a number a little bit more than what came in. Just to bring everybody up to speed there, so the bid pricing in this market has been very, very difficult to nail down, even after we contact and go through the estimating process with vendors. In some cases, they're only holding prices for contractors for only 7 days or less. So that's made it a little bit challenging for them and for us, trying to make sure we're keeping that in line for pricing. We did have 3 bidders for this particular project, and with the equipment that tends to, this one tended to come a little bit higher than we were anticipating at 134,000. We have not worked directly with this particular contractor before, so we did check in a little bit on some of the stuff that they had been doing on previous projects, and we don't see any particular reason to not move forward with them. I've been planning on installing Kohler generators, but that was what the 2 contractors have seen.
So that Kohler, is that cheaper than the Generac? A lot cheaper?
It just depends on what their relationships are usually with those vendors.
Cause Kohler, I think, just come out with them generators. It kind of makes me a little leery. Versus the Generac been out for a while.
Yeah, the other bid came in with Cummins. And those were the only 2 vendors that were provided, and these Kohlers, both the second low bid and the low bid were both the same series Kohler.
I got some information on the street crack ceiling projects too. Did you guys get the finance packet? If you were on finance, was it sitting here? Oh. Right, well, I'm short a couple of these, because I thought I had the finance packet sitting here. Maybe they're just still in here still.
Did not.
We'll share one. You're good.
Yeah, why don't you guys just share?
Okay.
Are there any other questions on the generators?
Dave, do you agree with him, the first one?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be the one that's, I mean, I don't know, maintenance, and maybe not, I don't know, involved with it, I guess, more than anyone.
Right. And
After
then
the
it's
fact.
as a whole source, and yeah.
I don't know the questions to ask. To be fair, I trust you.
We've been working on these for a while.
Right.
All right, do we have a motion? To approve awarding the generator contract?
A second.
Any other discussion? Hey, I guess again.
A lot of roll calls tonight.
Yep.
Nichols,
Yes.
Beavers,
Yes.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
And then if you don't mind, if we skip to the other item that he has, that I was gonna bring up under other,
Okay,
which is the stuff I just gave you about the crack ceiling.
Okay.
project.
Yep.
Rebecca, I have another one if you wanna look at it. I mean, I can print. them.
Oh, you're good, I was just thinking.
Okay.
So, another portion of maintaining the roads, we looked at doing a crack ceiling contract, and we reached out to the road commission about having some involvement with them in their current contract. They do a lot of that work. They've got larger scale contracts, and they tend to see some decent pricing from it. So they are open to moving forward with that, being incorporating the work of the city into that package. With full crack sealing, and then they had a section of roadway that they were going to extend anyways with the chip seal. So this will require going into a contract with the county. The county will complete the construction administration activities for that work under the contracts that they're already running for their work itself.
So one of the things that we intend to apply for is the CAPV project, which that funding, they really encourage when you work with other, like the road commission or other agencies. So this could technically be something we could ask for in that funding as well. Like,
Yes.
or we could just use that as an example of how we've been working.
Yeah, we can use it as an example of how we've been working together and that, and then this also gives us an opportunity to exercise that involvement with the county, so we can get more comfortable about how to be able to incorporate, for example, the category B into something that we could execute with the county.
And we've actually asked them the last 3 to 5 years, and there's really never been any overlap where it worked, that they were able to, you know, we were able to piggyback off of their bid.
On huge projects like this.
Right.
I've been able to piggyback with them with the line scraping.
Right, but not like, like we've been asking for a few years on, you know, hey, you know, we need this road repaved. Are you guys gonna be in the area? Can we get your pricing? Because they get better pricing typically. So we did ask, and you know, for them to do the crack sealing, it's 29,000. And then we got that piece on Woodbury that they're gonna do the chip seal.
Right.
If you guys agree.
In what?
That was just under 9.
One in the corner.
And so that would be uniform, so the work would match what the county's already planning to do all this that section.
And we would use our Act 51 funds or this bond funds to pay for that. And we also plan to put in a category B application, which is due June.
I think it's 15th.
Yeah, I figured at our June council meeting, we would bring that resolution.
So we would do, trying to figure out how to formulate this question. So we would be doing this with the county for cost savings, or because this makes sense to do it all together, or,
Well,
and I'm
so-
not sure I'm not sure the answer matters.
I mean, I think Dave could probably explain how the crack sealing works
Yeah,
when his
yeah.
guys do it. Go ahead and talk about your trailer.
When we do it to start with, I've been trying for 3 years to get a trailer to do this. Every spring they say, yep, you'll have it by July, and I've heard that for 3 straight years. And you get the trailer, you have to buy the crack seal from that company. Our compressor blew up, so I would have to rent a compressor to blow the cracks out, and it literally takes my crew all day. For what they're gonna do, we would be 2 years or better doing it, frankly.
Right.
And that's taking them off everything else we're doing.
And we just don't have the, I mean, they have to be better at it. There's just no doubt about it, that they have a crew that's what they do.
Just some efficiency there with doing that work.
Okay,
So we would never get all that. So one, it's, I mean, I'm not sure if it's like a huge savings
cost savings.
financially, like if our guys were to do it, but that could take us 2 to 3
Right,
years.
well, efficiencies are different, another
Yeah,
reason you would do it,
right.
so yeah, no,
And then, I mean,
that's why I said, I'm sure there's a reason, I just kind of, yeah, so.
Well, in cost relations, we know how much inflation is it, yeah, correct, so this is about 5% plus or minus more than what we were seeing for units when we did the category B work 3 years ago. So having that level of inflation over that time
Not bad.
period,
I was gonna
you know,
say,
see the pricing that they're having on that in relation to what we had, I think it is it's a saving.
Right.
overall, so.
Okay,
Plus, it sounds like it'd help us get this grant possibly.
it does look really good for our grant application that we have partnered with the road commission.
And it
You
is
mean,
extremely.
looks
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks good.
Well, so that means that we'd save money there. That's what that's telling me too. We could get that grant.
Yep,
That'd be huge.
And we have been noting that we've been trying to work something with the county. and-
every year we put it in our application, we attempted, so we're.
Now we'll be able to say, we are.
We did.
Contracts with.
Win-win on that.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the working with the county on the crack season?
I make motion.
Well, I think we're spending money, so we'll have to, any other discussion?
Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Second.
you're so quiet over there.
Yeah,
Do I gotta yell?
Yeah,
all right, roll call.
all right, Nichols,
Yes.
Bieber,
No.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Geisler.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
I think that takes care of you, Adam. So-
Need me at all for the spark or?
Oh, did you want to talk about, because we could go ahead and talk about that if you want. The Spark grant, that's
Yeah.
probably a good idea. I forgot. We go ahead and talk about that.
sure,
Sorry, I didn't know he was coming, and so I didn't move my agenda around.
Right.
I was like, it's alone. But I appreciate you being here, so it's great.
So we've gotten the results from the scoring from the first round of the Spark grant applications. And we've also been notified that the second round started today. And when we talked before, there's something to kind of keep in mind. We were expecting 3 rounds from the grant application process. It now appears that they're only going to go 2 open rounds. I believe the 3rd round will be there, but they blocked off the designation of specific list of communities that they're giving credit for the 3rd round. So we've got one more shot that we can go back through and package, adjust, and reapply if we'd like. Scores that we had on the first one was 72 out of 100.
It really wasn't horrible.
It doesn't look like a bad score.
I mean,
There were a lot of applications, so the competition was very.
well, there were a couple areas that I don't think we can score any better in. I mean, so we're not gonna
I
get
mean,
100.
Access to project site.
Right, so that means how do you get here? I mean, unless we're gonna put a train in or something, there's no other, you get here by car, bike, we listed everything that that they allowed us to list. So we even put down, that you could get the blue bus here or whatever, I mean, so that you just can't score anymore in that category, right?
Correct, and I think they said they've posted some frequently asked questions to try to help everybody get some feedback on how their application went with scoring, so we can go back through that information and get a better idea of what things might be able to be tweaked, see if we can grab a few more points out there.
Where, like the river grant, when it came back, it was like very specific. Hey, you guys need to make sure you add the word, some kind of foliage here or what, I mean, like it was very specific about things we can
Oh, that's
improve.
good.
This one is not. And I contacted the grant guy and he was like, well, you can go read those. He told me, go read those frequently asked questions and there's some little words in italics at the end of, this thing we put out. And if you have any more questions after that, I can try to help you. But basically, they're not gonna, it sounds to me like they're not gonna give specific feedback. And one of the other things is, how, so where your park is located, what the population is within some, closer connection to the park. We can't change that. I mean, that park is where it is. It's not like we can say, well, all of a sudden there's 5,000 people within 100 feet of the park. Those are things we can't improve on. But I think there were probably a few things that I felt we could improve on, and that would be like contacting other groups, getting some feedback from, we did have some feedback, but like, senior citizens group or a youth group or, some kind of something in writing, but the time is really short. It's due June 26th.
Yes.
What is the
That's okay.
financial and social considerations, like what are the?
Those were,
compass?
so the social considerations were how many people are within
Within it.
like so many feet of the park. And the financial is like AMI, like, you know, just gross income or, you know, whatever people's average income is and stuff like that.
And yeah, you can't.
Things we have no
can't choose
control over. Those were not
that. Those are
items.
low point, yeah.
The only items I felt like we could possibly improve on would be, where the, like how we were affected by COVID. But I mean, I feel like we did a pretty good job of trying to explain how COVID affected us, but you know, with our small size, we weren't affected as bad as like maybe places that had like, you know, downtown office spaces that then affected their businesses that no longer had, you know, people. Our businesses had great to-go businesses, you know, and we did lose a business, so we were able to, you know, talk about that in our application, but, I mean, I really feel like the areas where we did score well, you know, like, you know, I mean, we got 19 out of 24. You know, for our project and, you know, the clarity and scope, we got 13 out of 14. I mean, we might be able to pick up a point there.
Yeah, I'm thinking we were 72, I think, and then,
Yeah.
so we're probably maybe able to tweak it to get into the mid-70s, maybe upper 70s.
But even that is like tier 5. So are they
Crystal.
choosing just tier 1 or are they?
Well,
I think it said how many got funded
Yeah.
in each tier, didn't it?
it
guess that's fine.
showed which tiers that they scored and funded in the first round. Now, there was not as much money that went out in the first round. So there's an opportunity from that.
So they did only fund tier 1.
Yes.
Okay, yep, so,
And so the next round will have more dollars available. We would assume there will be a few more applicants. So the competition will pick up a little bit as well.
I did
But
hear East Lansing turn theirs back in though. They didn't want their money.
might be some other that come back.
Yeah. It's a train ride.
So, I mean, is this a long shot? Probably, but
But it's worth.
you don't, if you don't try, you don't know, and we already have invested in the application, it's not really gonna take us a whole lot more to resubmit. But I do think we need to reach out to some groups, so if anybody has youth groups or, you know, a senior citizen group or, and, you know, somewhere to get some feedback, I feel like that was one of the areas I felt that we could probably improve on.
When in the new construction renovation, future maintenance, did you add the new one? Prospects of the railroad area?
You know, I think when we did this, we didn't have that yet, so I do feel like that, you know, we could add that information, and, you know, I think I need to look at that closely, you know, because that one, we only got 7 out of 11.
Yeah,
which
that one,
I feel like there is some room, you
the
know,
way things go around here and how we,
and, yeah, I
with
think
your
that,
list of accomplishments, I'm sure that we could get 4 points.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, I don't know that we can pick up 10 points
I believe in
altogether. I mean, maybe,
It would be, yeah, it'd be tough, but I think.
and
that's probably on the
82 would
outside.
still put us in tier 3. So. Sorry, I'm not painting a very pretty picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
well, I'm-
can't really
I'm-
help it, you can't help it.
Yeah.
It is what it is with that. I mean,
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a big
I think that's a
Big
lot of
task, I
points
think we
anyways,
should-
yeah.
talk about whether it makes sense, because I agree, I mean, the big one we've already said, I mean, going from 9 to 19 on the financial and social. You said there's nothing we can do.
I
about
don't see that
so-
that's gonna happen. I don't think we're
Yeah,
gonna
there's
change
10
that.
Much that, no.
Can't get.
So.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna change that one much, but
I agree with what you said, maybe get 10 points if we're good, and that still doesn't get us
Where we need. to be.
where we need to be.
Yeah.
So,
But I really do think it's not gonna be a huge ask of us because I mean, most of it, like when we redid the river one, you know, a lot of it, we were able to just copy right back over. This one, you actually just go in and update, I think.
I think so, yeah, because they made it seem like it was just.
Yeah. But I do think we are gonna have to do a little outreach. And we got. Couple, not quite 2 months, month and a half, 6 weeks to try and do that, so. But we're gonna have a new person on board in the 15th.
There you go.
so. So,
All right, do we need to do anything on that?
oh, if you guys want to vote on that or not, I mean, basically, I guess, I just need to know, I mean,
We have a motion to move ahead with the Spark grant.
I make a motion.
Yeah, I think. there's a
Uh,
Second.
Don't be a quitter and go for it.
All in
Yeah,
favor,
absolutely.
say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye. All right.
Okay,
Make it happen. Well,
all right, now I think we're done with you, Ann. I'm sorry. I missed the spark grant. I
Hold
forgot.
on 1 second. No,
Thanks,
just kidding. Just kidding. All right.
Thanks, Adam.
Yes. We're not getting out, we can stay.
No, we messed it all up.
All
all
right,
right,
light
musical chairs.
elimination program.
If I attached anything or
You
not,
didn't
because
attach
I was
anything
working on
visually.
a resolution and I got that one up after packets were ready, so. Greg,
More
basically,
handouts.
last time we applied for this, we did a resolution for that blight grant that we did, a couple of months ago. No, I guess it was December, January. We didn't get funded that time. They only had 200,000 and they were trying to share it. I have the extra one. Yep. So this time the award is up to, I think it's $1 million. And with that project that we're working on for the 30 homes on the 120 railroad. They have found some arsenic down there. And Alan Edwin's still in, they're still on board, they, still want to go through with it. I talked to the MEDC. They're gonna fund some further testing down there. And it's not like a horrible level, so it might just be a little bit of cleanup, but a little bit of cleanup is a lot of money.
Paramount Coffee might come get it. But they put that in there.
Oh,
So on that note, I guess real quick question, we're gonna have to clean it up, are they gonna, or how would that work?
well,
Would
that's
we-
why I'm asking.
Oh,
to
yeah,
write this
yeah.
grant.
Yeah, okay.
So.
But MEDC is gonna fund to look.
Right, so the MEDC has already authorized like another $10,000 worth of work for Triterra, and they already paid 12. So we're at 22 now that they're putting into this
That's
site.
awesome.
But then also, we're gonna have some infrastructure needs for 30 homes down there. We're gonna need a road.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stop. Yeah, I mean, railroad stops and then the other side really isn't a road and then Clinton stops.
kind of a-
So we are gonna need some road work down there. And so, I mean, that's gonna
Wait,
be
we need.
probably not this, yeah. Probably not this grant, but what this grant I would ask for would be like to clean up the site, get rid of that foundation that's down there and the concrete and all that stuff. There'll be some professional services for layout, testing, soil borings, some kind of sewer lead extension, consulting services, a report for the BEA, soil delineation, due care planning. And then like cleaning up the arsenic and so that is 166,700 at my first estimate right now. So, Triterra is some of that is the bids that Mike Smith gave me last time. And Triterra is gonna send somebody else, so we'll have some more numbers on what this will actually be, but this is due May 31st. So if you guys want me to apply for that, I would recommend that we approve this resolution authorizing. So the land bank actually has to be the applicant, so I have to go to the land bank in Shiawassee County. They have to be the applicant. And whether or not we want to put in any match or, last time we didn't, and that's fine. But this time, the land bank would ask for the money directly for this project. And now, I mean, I think we have a really good sale because everything I went through for training in this last month, that's all been around housing. The state and the county, everyone knows that we are in desperate need of housing. And the money is coming out of everywhere to fund housing projects, to pay for infrastructure. I mean, other people are way behind us. They're paying people to do the planning to get housing in there. And I mean, we're way ahead of the game on that. So basically, I mean, I don't know, it would even cost us anything to put this application in. Triterra is gonna give me numbers for free. So I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
I make a motion to send this resolution or approve the resolution to, for the land bank. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
For the
second
land
that.
to approve this resolution, 23-0, whatever it is. And then, I mean, the only other thing that we should consider is if we want any match. So right now, we're at 166. If we, did a 10% match at 16, if we did. I don't know, it's not required, so however you guys look at that, it's up to you.
I think I'd leave that alone right now until we can. See what we got going on there.
I agree.
I was just wondering.
I mean,
I'm just looking at money wise as far
Yeah.
as, I'm hearing
Especially
scuttlebutt around town, so I'm just kind of like,
well, why don't we kill the scuttlebutt and figure out what it is you're hearing?
well, just that people aren't wanting to. They're afraid their taxes are gonna go up more. And all the money being spent for stuff and
This is money we're asking for.
I
for
know,
free.
but I'm talking about other stuff, but. That's what I'm asking.
Right, but I mean, I think that you need to be our voice and, I mean,
Right.
we're applying for funding
Right.
to cover these
Right.
costs, so.
Well, when you look at the budget, is the budget there to be able to have that there,
Yeah.
like to put in a certain percentage? Cause you were
Yeah,
saying like
yeah.
10%.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have that kind of funding. I mean, we have it in our capital outlay. We have it, I mean, even if we paid for the sewer connection, which is in here for 7,500. I mean, we have money in the sewer fund to do that. So, yeah, there's money to put a match in.
So I think Marcy's looking concerned about future pays.
I mean, hopefully we're able to-
I don't
Right,
know, I don't know that we've proved anything that hasn't been in the budget.
Correct, and I'm also saying that I'm, telling you, we are gonna have to put a road in there,
Right,
and that's not, but. There's also money out there to help us do that.
For sure.
which that would be great.
But I also feel like, I mean, if you really have to, I don't even know how you quantify what 30 new homes would mean to our area. I mean, to our businesses, to our school.
I mean,
Well,
PPP.
so question on it too, I guess, so we have the subdivision out here up Doyle Road. I heard the developer paid to have them roads put in, is that correct? And then also the one over here by the cemetery,
Yes, but.
so they paid for that,
But that is. These people are gonna infill, so they're filling in a piece of property. That already has road going to it. This was a piece of property that they needed a
It's just a
road in
field.
to access the homes. This one already has a road. If
Right.
we want to put 30 in there, we're gonna have to add to that road or make it so they can connect. But yes, that is true, that those developers, and they also, sold their property, sold their homes. But we're also not seeing those happen anymore.
right?
I mean, when was the last time we had a subdivision built?
Well, people gotta get off the property. Then that's when it happens,
But
that's what
nobody
happened
wants-
over here,
But nobody wants to invest in it.
right?
So a lot of the stuff that we've been doing is investments, and we will get the money back
Well, and
from the 30 houses. I mean,
right, but and how do you, how do you even quantify what that number is? I mean, that's the problem. I can't tell you what that number means. I'm sure, somebody could probably work something up there, but. When you get, how much money per student will the school get for every child that's brought into that,
Right.
those 30 homes? How many of those people are gonna walk over to our bar or a restaurant, and how many more restaurants are we gonna need? Because so
I mean, you said 2 per home.
it
that's
should be a
60 people,
catalyst for
60 to
further
80.
investment of private investment. So, I mean, I think that's what we've been working on in all of our plans, that we want to do that. So, I mean, people got to figure out, if you don't want infill, then that's another story, but how we get it to be successful is.
well, the other thing that I would say is I don't remember hearing anybody vote no for any of these things about spending on this council, so people are having a problem, we need to hear about it, so.
Well, I mean, I just rather squash the
Right.
rumors.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Or face them. If there is something that,
Yep.
people are saying that we should take care of, then
Yep.
let's take care of it.
Agreed.
And if everybody says, well, you know what, you're right, we shouldn't do this, then let's do that now. But,
Well, if we get some money to help pay for fund all this stuff, it'd be great. being as a taxpayer living here along with other people. I wanna know where the money's going, if we have to pay out of pocket with,
Well, see, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
just saying, but living
Because
here,
taxes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
living here in
Like you had
town.
said, it does get costly and
Yeah.
things are costly. I mean, I've lived here for so many years and it's went up.
Yeah.
I see the development, different things, you know, where the money's going. But yeah, I do personally have a lot of people asking me where money's going.
Right, and that, and I want to be able to help.
But
you
that's
be
why I
able
was
to
asking
answer that.
percentage wise.
Right.
Is the funds there to be able to be like, hey, we can put 10% on this and what, you know,
I
the kind
think
of stuff
that-
that it's covering.
One of the things that people don't understand is that tax bill that you got. The majority of that money does not come to the city.
Right, right.
It goes to the schools, it goes to the
Right.
county, it, you know.
Well, I
it
try to
goes to
tell, I
state
try to
of
tell them
Michigan.
that, I try.
I
to
mean,
tell
if you really look at our tax bill,
Right.
your summer tax bill, a portion of it comes to us. But your
Right.
winter tax bill, almost all of it goes, we take in all that money and we send it right back out.
This person.
So that one sheet where I read those, you know, those millages,
Mhm.
it shows you what we raise, you
Right.
know? So that's how much money we bring in, like 400 and some $1,000. It's, I mean, it's not a
that
lot of
much
money
considering
when,
you're running a city.
and you have 15, 20 employees. I mean, and then we have equipment and so I think that we could educate people on that information. And if you tell me people are asking you things, I can try to help you find the answer within our own budget.
Right.
That's amazing.
I
I
like
mean,
that.
But I can't if you'll tell me.
Right.
You don't ask me.
Well, this is
you know.
just upcoming.
No,
so
but yeah,
with
but I'm
new
just saying
council,
that, you know,
people
those-
are asking.
And that's
why I was
fine. I mean, I, everybody, right? Everybody's like,
when
well,
I started-
taxes are too, everybody, I mean,
Right.
I say it,
Yeah.
everybody says it, right?
When I started 2.5 years ago, I've heard 1,000 rumors, like, well, I'm not gonna believe it unless I see it.
But you go figure
Yes.
too, in town, we pay the highest taxes here, then second Victor Township, and then. I could go live out City Lakes a lot cheaper for taxes, I mean, just saying.
Can you prove that? Marcy, can you prove that?
That's what I was told a long time ago, we were
No,
discussing this.
But can you prove that?
I don't
I
know.
can look it up for you. and
That'd be
tell you
great.
Exactly what those
Cause
numbers are.
I was like,
He's
really?
like, I'll tell you.
Well, but I
I
can
was
tell
gonna move out
you,
to City Lakes,
my
Well-
taxes out in Victor Township aren't cheap either.
that's what I'm saying, but I was told,
But at Victor Township, nobody's picking up my brush. Nobody's plowing my sidewalk and my street doesn't always get done
well, my
first.
sidewalk
I
don't
got
get plowed either,
Mine don't even.
Shovel
we have to
mine.
show.
But I'm just saying that,
No, these are
well, we
just,
have
I'm just,
services like the lead.
I mean, I hate to say my street's usually done first.
And look at our parks, you don't have that, you know, I mean, you're
I'm
just,
not complaining,
no, but I'm just saying that
yeah.
those are things that it's.
yeah, but I can live out to Lake Victoria and come out here and use these parks and demand, I want some stuff done on this equipment over here.
And you
I've
can
already
say
seen it,
no as you sit here and vote.
I've already seen it,
All
I'm
right,
just saying.
so if we hear things, bring questions, we'll get answers. And we
Absolutely,
can-
call
we-
me, I'll,
Yep.
you know, or, you know,
Yep.
we'll look it up, we'll see what
Yep.
we can find. I
Yep.
mean, all I can give you is the answer that I have. And
I appreciate the honesty.
Back
All
to
right.
back.
can't guarantee you they're gonna like my answer.
Well,
but-
That's it,
The truth is better than no.
right.
all right, where do we?
All
where
right,
do
so we made a
stand?
motion, and we had a second to go ahead and
I'll
apply
make it
for,
second.
Jeff-
I had Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed? All right. Meeting schedule, number 15. Is just for information.
You actually need to
For
prove it.
next year.
Okay,
Yep, so this is you guys' opportunity to say, no, we don't want to meet at 7 o'clock, we want to meet at 6 AM, you know, I mean, whatever.
I said 4:30.
Yeah, or change your, you know, change your dates. These are all our regular dates, except for ones like July 10th is gonna be the second Monday, I think, instead of the first. January is the second one. You could kind of tell when you look at them. Some of them we had to bump because of holidays,
Holidays.
but other than that, so this is your opportunity to tell us.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, and then we have to get these posted so that people know a year in advance what our meeting schedule is.
okay,
Motion to approve
I
the
suck it.
schedule.
all right, anybody have any questions on the schedule? All right, all in favor of approving the schedule, say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye. City council meeting for the next year has been approved.
There you go.
All right. Reviewing the master plan town survey, so. This is a survey we're talking about doing with a QR code. To get feedback from the city, it came from BDA. That
Planning,
I
Planning,
can't have planning
planning.
questions.
we said it's a planning commission, and that's all the other.
Yeah.
people
And
that
this
review.
is questions so far that we have. Any questions that you feel that would be sufficient for the master plan to add in there? We would like to get. I mean, obviously over discussion, some
yeah.
aren't,
Want
we don't want in
feedback
there,
for additional questions, but ones you don't think we should have.
yeah. So right now, this is just something to look at.
What is the
Then give your-
purpose?
The purpose is to get the entire city's input on the
Thank-
master plan, the thing, just anything that you could think of that would have to do with the master plan, like, do you want this? Do you not want this? Why do you want this? But there are some things that we did decide that we're not gonna put in there, like the
So-
concern, other things. Yeah,
This sprouted from, so every year we're supposed to review the master plan, like, and so I took the list of goals and objectives to the planning commission. And so typically we just go through those goals and objectives. Well, when we wrote the master plan, we probably did a survey like this. So then one of the planning commission members was driving through Vernon and saw a sign in their town that said public input wanted or whatever, thought it was a great way to do it.
just scan
And
it.
these are their questions. These are Vernon's questions.
We did add and take away.
So
Yeah, there's.
they, do they necessarily support the goals and objectives that are in our master plan? I can't tell you that they do.
Right,
So
but they were sent to
What is the
every
purpose?
committee.
Well, I'm just, is the master plan even available for people to read online?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm just like, I mean, how much time and effort is this gonna take our, like you guys to go through this? And what is the, basically, what is the goal to get out of this besides getting input? Well,
I think that's an excellent question, actually, is what are we trying to gain from this
yeah, I mean,
knowledge?
why are we doing this?
And so for me, where it started was when we asked about, do you guys still support what the planning, what the master plan sets?
Right.
And so I would think these should relate to those goals, or if you just simply want to know, are people interested in water? You can ask that, right? But that, I mean, I think that's why we're asking for some feedback is what do you want to add?
That question always elicits a lot of discussion, so.
But so when I looked through this, originally there was a couple questions in here that I was like, what?
I like, don't put that in there.
So, but I mean, it was like, there was something
What
about
was it?
traffic or something, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about that one, but,
So to answer your question, don't think it would take a ton of time. I mean, we've talked about using survey.
The
monkeys.
bottom one,
So these questions would have to be in Survey Monkey. Survey Monkey will tally them and put it together, so then we should get some kind of a report that
and
says
it's
here's,
just a view. It's like-
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about somebody going around and asking these questions and spending a lot of time.
But also it helps the planning commission in
Right.
general.
What to
Look,
go further
look
on.
back and be like, okay, like a majority of the people really don't want this and it's on our thing and like. Is it something we should still consider? Is it something that maybe we should follow the parts of the community?
I just don't want it to waste people's.
I don't think it's going to, it's just gonna be, it should be quick.
Would you agree with that? I mean, it's some of your time to get the questions in.
Hey, just
I'm
started on
gonna
the
tell you,
15th, right?
at the planning commission meeting, I got a feeling we'll just go ahead and put these on Survey Monkey and and then I was like, well, yeah, maybe we should really take a look at them. The DDA had very little feedback on the questions. So I think that somebody should look at these questions and say, what you just said, why are we asking these? Is there some reason we picked, I mean, does it matter where you reside when you're answering this?
That's was my first thing.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that I just looked at the first question and why are we asking where you reside? What do we want to know about that? Well, you kind of sometimes want to know how many people are you bringing in,
Yeah.
so that I think that where someone resides doesn't mean we don't want their input. We're
Right.
trying to figure out where they reside so that
Do
we
wanna
can figure
make
out, are we
pizza?
attracting people
Yeah,
in
we
or
wanna
do
make
we
pizza.
want to attract people in, right? What brings you into Langsberg? Why do you visit Langsberg? So, but right now. I mean, I think we're just really randomly asking questions right at the moment.
What is the time frame that you want to get this posted?
I don't think there is a
There isn't.
time.
No, I don't think there was.
No.
There was one, no.
I mean, I guess. I'm
Something
just
that was
looking
just-
at some type, we have this on our council meeting. What is the purpose? What is the goal? What is the achievement? I mean, it just,
So this is something the planning commission is asking. to do.
okay, right.
And what we're doing is bringing it to all the council, all the different
Committees,
committees to get their feedback on what questions.
whether it's good, bad, add,
Yeah.
minus.
And then
whatever.
is there a time frame you have to have this done?
Nope.
Okay.
There's no-
Why?
We want, because we want honest input. We don't want people to rush it.
No, no, no.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Why is there not a time frame? Okay, let's talk about
Oh,
all
for
the
input.
committees or the councils and let's have, I want this posted by June 15th. Why is there not a time frame? Because we could be on this for a year and not get anything out of it, then we've wasted that much time. That's where I'm coming
Got
from. Where is the time frame to get this done? What is the goal? What is the objective? Why do we not have that if we want this done?
Good question. All right. That's not something that was even discussed. We discussed it at the planning commission and then we brought it to committees. That's it. So
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
here
it's a
for
bad
the
idea.
questions. Yeah,
What is the time?
it's brought to it just for these things.
I think that you've probably lessened some of the questions on it as far as not have so many questions, but have them kind of like, involving questions on the parks. What do they think about having a boat launch out here? What brings you in? Is it any particular, any businesses here in town or family here in town or out or whatever? I mean, to limit it to,
I think that we should, like, there's three focus areas. What are we doing that you like?
Hmm.
What are we doing that we should stop? And what should we start doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those are like,
Things that are.
those
going
are
to-
three really good focus areas and those questions should kind of arrange, I mean, I don't know that you can specifically get that out of people, but you know what I'm
You can't,
I'm saying
you
that-
have to develop questions and ask.
yeah, so those are things I think that we could quantify and, make,
And the reason, the reason we're being a little bit specific, not really specific, but like. We're not leaving it vague. Because we want it to pertain to the master plan and not just be like. Random people complaining.
we didn't
about
take this to
or
the
that.
master plan, you know what I mean? We didn't.
No,
compare
I know,
this
but
to-
it's.
And so that's what
it
I
could
kind of
meld
feel like,
with it, that's
I
what
think
the
that
point is.
that would probably be a good exercise that we should have. It's like,
I mean, it feels like this was like, hey, let's just do this for fun. Like, well, we have a lot of other things to be doing than just this for fun, so like, as we looked at the master plan, is it compared to that?
The
What is-
person who brought it to us, I'm not sure their full intent, obviously, I know it was for the master plan.
Well, I'm just
but-
thinking,
I don't think, I mean, he just brought it because he saw it and he's like, hey, this is cool. They have these little signs out. And then it kind of just snowballed into.
Right.
I think it's a good idea, but yeah, I do think that having to bring on it.
yeah, because I mean, do we have a week to look at pictures or to look at the questions, to give you different questions, or do we have a month? I mean, I don't mind doing it, it's just, when do you need it by? When is it gonna be put out there, and when do we have answers? So we don't keep just going in a circle,
Right,
we
I
just
agree.
spent 10 minutes on this that could have been on something else.
We'll give the planning commission to
I mean, I'm
determine
I'm
that.
not being the jerk in the
Yep.
group, but I'm just.
No,
saying,
you're
this
not
is what
being a
needs to be
jerk,
done.
that's why we brought it to committees, so
Right.
it could be discussed in
Yep.
this manner. In
Yep.
this manner,
Matter.
matter.
It was basically just to introduce it and like take a look at it. And I think that you're right, that we should have a deadline on it so that we want to have this in people's
And more
hands by the July
specific
newsletter
criteria.
and whatever, summer tax bills.
Yeah,
Right.
Get all the answers back with the summer tax bills by September. We'll be in good shape.
Marcy's birthday. The results.
And your tax bill.
All right,
We covered the part.
we should cover the spark grant, so now we're on to, do we have any, you want to do bills first?
I make a motion to approve the bill.
Good job.
I second that.
I'm surprised Marcy didn't.
Any discussion?
I was
on
listening
bills?
really hard for Rebecca.
Questions? Yeah.
Oh, man. I missed
I don't have any questions. I'm sorry.
All right. Roll call?
Nichols,
Yes.
Beavers,
Yeah.
Judd,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Geisler.
Yes. All right, committee reports.
So the planning committee discussed the.
Wait. All right, let's start with Dan. I'm gonna go in the order so I don't miss any. Marcy.
Oh, so. We had 18 reports. Oh, whoops, hold on. I've got it here. Yeah,
Dan's got it right in his hand.
hold on. It's over here. I got lots of tree limbs over here. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I should have placed it over here. It's here. I got it here
So the
somewhere.
planning committee.
It's in my pile here somewhere. Yep. Okay, we have 15 reports. And it's a whole slew of different ones it's really amping up with different things going on here.
Yeah,
So we had somebody that filed a false police report, a big no-no there. And looks like one assist on the with the fire department and then one with the sheriff department. And they got someone that was operating while intoxicated. And then I guess we've got a runaway juvenile in there. That's like the big ones, I guess. We had 1,070 patrol miles, 40 total traffic stops, 17 traffic tickets issued. And we've had 23 traffic warnings and 4 ordinance violations, abandoned vehicles. So it's been a busy month for Dan in the police department.
Hey. Emergency services. You
I was just gonna say also the patrol car is still on order, haven't heard
Oh, yeah,
anything more on
well,
that.
Jeez, Marcia.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna be purchasing some of the equipment. In May here, which will be the. Computer stand, the modem. And the camera system in this current budget, next budget. Will be the rest of the equipment. All right,
When do you expect the car now?
no idea,
No idea still? Okay,
I haven't heard a word.
I know it's been a long time.
No.
Okay.
LSW.
That's
I think
next.
that's the new one.
Yeah,
Oh, so the ambulance had in the city 7. Scioto 7 ambulance calls, Woodhall 23, mutual aid 3. Which is total call for the month is 40, year to date 132. Fire rescue, the city had 5, Scioto had 5, Woodhall had 23. Victor had 18, Bennington 2, mutual aid. 5 for fire rescue, total calls for the month is 58, and year to date 146. So that's kind of going up too. So.
and to add to that, our tanker will be done here. It's gonna be picked up, June 18th. Working with Huntington Bank to, set up the payments for that. And the interest rate, I think we're locking in it was 4.8%. For the 5-year payments. We have to finance $405,000. We have already paid $150,000 for the chassis. So, get that 2,000 gallons to the fire. Very expensive, but, we have to maintain our, thing. The other thing we also talked about at the last meeting was ambulance replacement. It's currently taking about 2 years to get an ambulance. The board has approved us to start looking at those replacement options. One of the things with new ambulances, you have to have a new power cot system to get the patient in and out of the ambulance. That system is $60,000. We've also incorporated a new heart monitor EKG machine. Those are currently at $40,000, right? There's $100,000. So our new ambulance is looking at costing us right now about $360,000. So that's why we're looking at the future. Again, it's be 2 years down the line, but we're looking at that adventure. So.
When you ordered that, did they need a down payment?
Not usually. We don't.
On the fire, we did, on the
Fire we did on the ambulance.
We never
I'm not
used
sure.
to, but
Yeah.
they're like 3 times what they used to be, so
Right,
in order to order it and hold that price, they may require it.
yeah.
I just.
But just because we used to, like, all right, we're gonna buy an ambulance, you go get an ambulance.
Right.
And now, I mean,
You have to
you could
order
be a year out,
It's 2
and
years
so in
out.
order to, for them to guarantee,
For a new
they
ambulance,
probably do charge you.
I just.
It's
you know,
just
if
different
we-
than we've ever had to do. I mean, we didn't used to have to do that with fire trucks either. 'Cause
No,
we, by the time we ordered it and got the down payment down, the truck was here, so. And now they're 2 years out.
So I'm just saying, if we order it now, then we have budget for the down payment. I don't know what the down payment would be, but it's just.
Yeah, we do have the funding.
we do, yeah.
We have
Because I
that,
mean.
because out there
we
we've been putting money in the capital outlay.
But the prices have increased in the last year 37%. So,
Scary.
and on the
Okay.
ambulance side, we've had still 24/7 coverage.
So I was just gonna ask how we're
And
doing
that's
with
why
staffing.
you also see that,
Way
you know,
better.
on average, we're running 40-45 calls a month for the ambulance.
Heck of a lot more than before.
Yeah. Which is good, but unfortunately, there's a lot of places still advertising for paramedics and EMTs, so
What we seem to be doing, okay with.
we're hanging on our own right now, yeah.
Perfect, thank you, thank you. All right, planning commission.
So we talked about this thing where we can promote the public input. Anyway, so we went through that and then we sent the questions to all the boards just for their suggestions. That was it. And then we reviewed the master plan. And then we talked about having we're considering talking about property maintenance codes and maybe things that could be put on it, how we want our city to be viewed. Do we, do we want to start cracking the whip on certain things? We want to have certain codes for certain things. And so each member is going to come back with at least 3 things and start putting things together and just so we can maybe have guidelines for property maintenance. And then we postponed our training. And then Richard left us. That was our meeting.
Good job, Lisa.
Thanks.
We got on there Randy Craig, he's still on there, huh? Didn't he?
No,
That's
That was another one?
That's
No.
Randy. Yeah,
Oh, Randy, another Randy.
it's different Randy.
Oh, that one,
Randy Craig lives over by West Street in that area.
yeah, but I thought he stepped down from something else that maybe he was doing.
Yeah,
Never
Randy
did.
Randy used to be on the planning.
Okay,
commission, But
it's
this
just-
is a
no,
different Randy.
no.
No, he was on the.
Randy
review.
couldn't be on the board of review
Yeah.
So he's on the,
because his business didn't want him, thought it might be a conflict.
oh,
Well,
that's
we
what I was saying, I'm
we
like,
used to have a different Randy.
Did we?
Craig on
Okay.
the
Oh.
planning
Oh,
He-
okay.
Like
He also was one vote
Randy-
less under him for city council.
But it was Randy Gregg, not Randy
Right,
Craig.
okay.
And so I feel like sometimes people get that like,
Confused,
It
yeah.
is, it is confusing.
yeah,
Huh.
because somebody goes, well, he can't be on there, he doesn't live in town. I go, no, that's Randy Gregg.
Oh,
Right,
And this is Randy Craig.
I was gonna say, I know that, Randy. I went to school with him.
Yeah, so that's what I thought
Yeah.
maybe you were talking about that. I was
No,
like, well,
no, I knew he didn't live
I
here.
think he's
Sorry.
fairly new to Langsford.
They've been here a while.
Probably at least
His
8
wife
years.
graduated from Lane.
I mean, I feel like that's new,
So,
but I don't know, okay, maybe, I don't know.
okay, DPW,
We talked about Dave's supervisor report. And then we went over the Spark grant and our scoring. And then we talked about the master plan survey.
so something, I don't, Greg, something if you can do this, Lanesburg Terrace,
looking glass there.
Looking Glass Terrace, yeah. You know, they have a bad road, they have the parking lot, we've kind of been talking to them, kind of think you as DPW, if you could reach out to them and just kind of. Open a page of communication, right, just to make sure we're all on the same page. We hear, I've heard a couple times, Paul has heard a couple times, sure other people how bad that road is. Back there, well, we're trying to coordinate with them to make it all happen.
Fix
at
it
the
all
same
at the
time.
same time.
Because we don't want to fix the road and then have them come in with the big equipment and fix their parking lots, right?
And ruin the road.
And ruin the road, right? So it's in place, I think 26 is when we have it in our budget to do that. So we just want to make sure everything's.
Because wasn't there an issue with them matching, having the money to the funds to do
And they
the
were
thing too?
struggling.
So they need to figure out what they got going on.
But that gives them at least 2.5 years to
To figure it out.
get their
Yeah.
cash. Yeah, I worked on them for years.
Just want to have that line of communication.
Yeah, because isn't it, Frank's in the letter of their committee?
Yeah.
No problem with that.
What did we ever figure out about the fence at Bait Scout Park? Are we leaving it? Are we?
I'm waiting for Spartan to come out and give me an actual estimate.
Oh, so it is our fence, or we are putting one in, what, I thought we were trying to figure it out.
I'm not sure if it's ours or not. I'm just having them give me an estimate of what it would cost to run it. The rest of the way down.
Okay, I just
The first
wondered,
half that's there is ours, so.
Right,
because I haven't heard anything more from those people, I
What
just
about the
wondered.
one over on Treat Street?
What's that?
What about the Treat Street one? The fence on Treat Street Park?
Keep them.
Oh.
It's in the budget to get fixed.
Right, you asked us to do that one,
Next
right?
year?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna lay in his yard for until next year?
The split rail? Well, it wouldn't lay in his yard if you wouldn't hit a dog tied to it.
Oh.
Is
Well, I'm
that,
just
is that
saying,
ours
it's
or
late.
his?
It's ours.
Okay,
Right after we put it up, he decided to lay his boats against it and tie his dogs to it.
really?
And we've already.
All I
fixed it
saw was
twice.
the fence was broke and then I passed it and it was
It's
laying
been
in his
fixed
yard.
twice and they continuously use stuff against it.
Should we?
So,
give an invoice for
Can we just
repairs?
put an electric fence?
Can we just put a for sale sign there?
all right. Anything else from DPW?
Well, the neighbor lived there
Yes.
wants to buy it.
Yes.
Along,
Just saying.
along
Ira?
Dan's deals with the cop car and the fire trucks. At Bates Park, one of the women's bathrooms, the toilet broke.
Hmm.
And it is a wall mount unit, which nobody has in stock. So right now it is closed while I wait for it to get ordered. It'll be here in approximately 35 days.
Who are you going through for that?
Trust,
No, I've never heard of them.
they're awesome. They were the only ones that I could do, well, everybody that I called was the same time frame. Unless I wanted to go, I found one other toilet that I could get within 2 weeks. But the entire bracket system would have to be changed because it would match up to what we had.
What do you have for toilets?
Holders.
Rollers?
And there's a kind that hang on the wall, not.
Yeah.
Right, I deal with them every day.
Yeah.
I
Well,
usually,
we don't have- That's the only place we
Marcy,
have it,
just
right?
Grab one.
Okay.
Right?
I'm just gonna grab you one.
I miss
So,
you, Kelly.
There's a lot of businesses that have them, they have them in stock.
Is there one in surplus? Like, you know,
There might be
a
one.
used toilet?
I can tell you right now, I've called 12 places.
Well, they used to, well, they did have them, but you know what people were doing? They had a whole bunch of them in a dorm.
I got more for
People-
DPW too.
People went and
Smash
smashed them to pull, to get the spud out of the back. It was brass. They
Really?
busted all the toilets. They were giving them away. but we do it like Etna, you know, and Ferguson. There's a bunch of people you deal with, and they get them right stack. I don't know how you. I mean, they should be able to sell you a toilet, I
I
think.
make a motion that Marcy coordinates.
I'm just kidding.
Also,
They kind of go.
also moving on, the concession stands at Bates. The Dairy doesn't be running that, I guess. So Dave wasn't there, but I was down there with Nick. They're gonna do, they need some electrical work done, so they're looking at $600 to $800 for extra plugs in the sub panel, so they can actually have that. Is that under our jurisdiction as the city, or is that under the baseball little league people?
Well,
Do we own the concession stand building, I guess?
I think anything in our parks, the city owns.
Okay,
I mean,
so, yeah,
who
so I
pays
guess,
for the repairs would be probably the people who are gonna use it. I mean, what would be the reason for us to repair it?
Well, so let me, hang on, just say, it's not a repair.
it's not, it's an
I mean,
upgrade.
it's
An
an upgrade, yes,
right.
I think that's important. So I would think if they want it, they should pay. If it was an outlet that was not working,
Okay,
it was a repair, then yes, I think we should pay.
Maintain it.
Maintain it, yes, maintain it, yes.
Well, I mean, I think that one of the issues we have with, I mean, I wouldn't say it's an issue, it's just that sometimes there isn't a clear delineation of who does what with the baseball, the Lions Club, the city, and that park, right? So would you not,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
agree, yeah.
so, I mean, I don't know in the years that I've been here, we've ever really done anything to, other than like fix the roof or
I said, I'm
whatever.
gonna roof on it.
But I mean, I don't remember us doing work in there. And, you know, over the years, the baseball people would come and say, you know, they would ask us to do a few things, but they would pay for like the sand and some other things. And I mean, so there should be some kind of, maybe at some point, an agreement. So that when people change on the boards, like the baseball board and
It's
Cause-
down,
cause-
it's written down,
because people would come to us and say, well, the city should do this, this and this.
right?
And over the years, it just never worked that way. And then the baseball board changed. And then we started seeing, and when we
Right,
started,
they started.
and then we didn't know when they were having activities, they wouldn't call and tell us. So I feel like there should be that relationship there. And even if there was an agreement, just because if, if we're not hearing somebody call, somebody could pull the agreement and say, well, here's what it says we're supposed to be doing. Just, there is nothing in place, but when you talk about what you talked about earlier,
Yep.
when you guys talk about taxes and things like
Yep.
that, it's like, the groups that benefit from using the park. I mean, they need to have some investment in it too, right? They're collecting money, like you're gonna do this so that somebody can make money using the concession stand.
Mhm.
So those people need to help fund that. Does that make
Yep.
sense?
I agree with that.
There needs to be an open line of communication, because that is definitely not there.
And I feel like that like when I go to some of these trainings, other people who like allow people to use things like that in their park. There should be a concession stand agreement that says,
Right,
if you're using this concession stand X, Y, you know what I mean? Because if somebody were to call us and say something about that concession stand, we really, I mean, it's been locked up.
I say, I don't even have a code to get in it, so.
So that, I mean, that's,
Right.
so there is something.
I mean,
there
I guess
that
it'd be a
needs to
different
be-
story if they were renting it from us or something and they needed an upgrade, but.
But
they're
that's,
not.
but then
No,
there
to
should-
me, so if I have a tenant and they wanna upgrade something, that's on them,
Hmm.
right? Again.
But but there is this where we do want people to use our
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
We do want that. I mean, what's the sense of having this? Who built the concession stand building? That's been there as long as I can remember, and what was the purpose of it? And, so there is a reason to have, it's great, right? You have a concession stand, you get people out there. And it's great that one of our local businesses want to do that.
So
So,
who is
how do we,
benefit from
you
that? The baseball league there?
I mean, if
Okay.
they have cookies, I am,
Okay.
but other people use it, right? So
yeah.
what if
Yeah.
what if we start having family reunions and people go, hey, can we use that concession stand? Or
Right,
what if we have a concert out there? Hey, can we use that concession stand? I feel like if the only people that are gonna use it is the baseball people, then yes, they should pay for it, right? But if we're gonna use it for other things, then there should be some sort of, like there's an agreement, we have to use the amphitheater. Do you wanna use the amphitheater? Here's the things you need to do. Here's the code you need, and the city takes care of the amphitheater. I'm not trying to like raise a bunch of weird problems, but it is
Yeah.
like, I think right now, if they're asking to do something, we should really think about how we communicate that. And so it doesn't like, it doesn't look like we're just like saying, oh, well, I guess just the baseball people are gonna use it, but the city's gonna pay for it.
Right.
Cause that's not fair.
Well, and so $600 to $800 is not it.
That's-
Not that,
it's
not
not the
that big a
issue.
deal, right? It's
No.
not the issue. right?
No.
It's the
It's
principle of-
when, it's when they come back and go, well, we want to have dugouts down in the ground and that's gonna cost $20,000 and we think the city should pay.
I mean,
That's where, I mean.
right, and they built those dugouts, right?
Right,
So they've
yeah.
invested in that park and I think that everybody knows that, but I feel like, okay, what is our plan here? If we put money into this concession stand, is it just for the baseball?
Survey question.
But do you see what I'm saying there? I'm just saying
We
that,
need better guide,
yeah, I think that we all need to have
Because-
something.
because I think they're,
Do you see any?
they're
No, I
waiting for
did start
us.
some before they changed the board, so
Yeah.
I can set back down a little bit.
Yeah, because I
We
mean,
were-
they
and
have
this-
an
and this is-
electrician lined up and everything, they're waiting on us to approve it.
Well, the
but
problem
they're
with the
also expecting
electrician,
us
I
to-
mean, do we need a permit?
I don't know, that's something, and I said, I don't know if we need to have 3 things to do. I asked the electrician if we need a permit, it's probably not, because we're upgrading a panel, we're not bringing extra service in, I was like, well, that doesn't sound like something we just went through.
Right.
Right, so then if
Yeah.
something happens, somebody gets hurt out there,
Yeah.
guess who's liable?
Yeah.
Exactly,
Right.
and
I
that's
mean,
where,
That's not great. for-
that's
Right.
where,
Hmm.
if it's,
No,
because
I
it's
didn't-
the city's
I
liability.
didn't wanna say that.
If somebody,
No, I didn't.
something happens, it's the city's liability that needs to cover it.
Right, and I think that
That's what-
anytime, if you're updating a panel,
It needs to be.
Jeff, if you wanna
Oh, yeah.
update a panel in your building, do you need a permit?
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think that,
Right, and they want to actually not even update the panel, they want to put a sub panel in.
I don't even know what that means, but
But
yeah.
you're still adding the.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You still have to
But
have the-
that sounds like a permit is necessary.
Well, it's a liability and it's a public access thing.
Right,
Well,
and then like I
like-
just
like
said,
what they're-
who's gonna have access to it, you know, and.
What happens if it catches fire? Who's gonna pay for that? We have insurance.
We need better guidelines because I know Wendy's waiting for us to figure this out because she wants to bring more stuff in there to create, to sell more things.
Right.
All right, well, does that go to that? I mean, where does that money go to? I mean, that's where we need to have some better guidelines because.
We don't
waiting-
have
I
any.
think so too.
Yeah.
I
As
think
far as
so
I'm
too,
concerned, we
because I
don't
think
have
that
any
that was the
other
big issue
exercise.
even with the Lions.
I feel like the baseball team. I remember, I feel like when my kids were little, they used to sell some candy and popcorn and hot dogs out there.
Mhm.
And I have no idea, like, if there's an agreement, I can look and see if we have something in our files. But I don't have anything on that. Do you?
No, no, I have nothing. on concessions.
who should put that agreement together? I mean, should that be the
Would that be
DPW?
DPW or?
Would that
That's what I
be?
would be.
Or would that be
Perfect
Rex
question.
Parks and Rec? Well, that's DPW,
Tina,
so.
go to your room.
I didn't hear what she said.
Survey question.
Survey question.
So I agree, I think that's something that would be with Parks and Recs we should handle.
I mean, I feel like we have we could probably grab like a general agreement from another city. Somebody else must do this.
Okay.
So we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
It'd be nice to have it so that,
It can be used like
I
that.
mean, they figure out something temporarily so Wendy can get going and you guys want to make, but I do think that we shouldn't just go,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead and do that and then not think about,
Right.
what if someone wanted to do it? What
right,
if,
yeah,
you know?
We got a question out here.
yeah.
You know what, this sounds like Woodhall Township, you know what they always say, Paula? We need a policy or a procedure. That's the key.
Hmm.
Yeah, you do need something in
I just
writing.
don't think
a
we have
policy,
anything on that.
and that's what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah.
If you don't,
But considering there's so many.
a policy or procedure, you need to get it typed up.
To
And
be
then it's,
fair, that
here it
other
is.
people could use it,
Right,
right?
right.
If somebody
So
else
that's what I
doesn't
heard.
want to use it, would we
Right.
say, well, sorry, only Deary Dairy?
Well, so I'm looking at,
This is the first time we've had an outsource outside of the ball.
Right, and that's why I'm saying that. I mean, I've
Right.
never, as far as I knew, it was just volunteers running it and the baseball people.
Right,
But
Usually
that,
it
I
was
don't even know
the
when the
parents
last time it
that
was
were
open. Do you?
right.
Has it been used?
They, as far as this year, no.
Right, but
They
last
did
year?
use it
Oh,
last
did
year.
they? I hardly ever saw
It
it.
was packed down there.
But they did, I mean, they had
Yeah.
extra stop boards and.
Yeah.
No, not the baseball field, I mean the.
The
concession
concessions,
stand.
yeah, they used it last year.
Okay.
What conversations have you had with them?
we just met yesterday and the electrician was there, Ray was there and Wendy was there. And they're just saying, well, we need like 4 plugs here. We might need we don't need a plug there because they're getting rid of a fridge, but just for crock pots and were what she wanted the plugs for, but I guess Ray was saying something about one of the scoreboards is not working. So they need to figure out that now. Does that come under the city's policy?
Right,
Because
so
it
who
is
put
existing already.
But who put the scoreboards in?
I don't know.
They did.
Right,
You
no,
have to
but
figure
so
out
this
they
is
did.
one of the things that I've always had, people say, well, somebody comes to us and say, well, we want to put up a flagpole. Or we want to put up one of these flag boxes. Okay, now the flag box is up, who's taking care of it? So when the city allows somebody to do that in their park, they have to say, okay, we accept this now and we're gonna take care of it. Or if that breaks, you take it down and you take it with you.
I got a
Do
question.
you know what I mean?
Is there a sponsor name on that scoreboard?
I didn't even look at the scoreboard, honestly.
I know we didn't buy
I
them.
know, but I'm saying,
Right.
there's sponsors, I bet, on there
But
that
is
help
the-
pay for them.
So I just
For-
feel
for-
like we have.
Right.
Right now,
I go against what I said about the
Right.
scoreboard. I don't think we should maintain that.
No.
Right,
They
so-
put it in for baseball.
But it's just kind of like a little
Yeah.
can of worms,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So
Right.
once
So
you
the
start.
question
it's
is the conversation,
Yeah.
4 plugs, the sub panel is what the conversation was. Ray never mentioned anything or incurred anything about the city taking care of the school board. I just want to make
Yeah,
that.
no,
clear.
get it, get it,
It's
get
just-
it.
Well, I just know how things.
We don't have to
come.
complicate that, but
So that was never brought up for the city. It was more the 4 plugs, the sub panel, and the electrician said $600 to $800. And I said, do we need a permit? And he's probably not like, but this is if this is the city's, we have to do it right.
and if it's the city, how did we pick that electrician?
Right, and
That-
that's,
That's probably why the scoreboard is not working anymore.
there's a lot of, that's where
Questions
Wendy's
on it. I
getting
do
to the
think that it
concession.
should be communicated.
I
I
mean,
think
it's just,
that,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that for future reference
no.
either.
no, it's great.
this
to have-
year we should do
Yeah.
whatever we gotta do, if you guys want that to work and make it work, but I do think that we need to work on a policy and procedure for everything that has to do with that part,
Yeah.
right? And,
And
and,
I agree, I agree.
and that, I mean, yeah, other parks, but
Yeah,
yeah, and,
yeah.
and that, for this one, I feel like we have a lot of that covered. But out there, it's just kind of always been,
We have
Kind of a
different
free
groups.
for all
and
in the
everything.
town.
We
yeah,
don't have the Lions Club and
I mean, the baseball
Baseball
people
people.
have taken care of,
Yes.
I mean, not saying the DP doesn't do it, I'm just saying, but they have taken on responsibility out at that park, and they've done a good job with it. But if somebody else comes out and wants to play baseball, do they have the right to? So where, how do we, because we've had that conflict. We haven't had it in a while, but we've had it, where people come in there like, well, we want to have a family, we're having a family reunion, we want to play, well, baseball's playing, yep.
Right.
We've had it, we're like, oh, boy, but, so there really should be something just to protect everybody in the future, and so that everybody knows.
Maybe Dave and I should start working on something together.
I think,
Like those.
yeah, and like I
those
said,
people
I
that
think
are
we
out
could get
there.
we might be able to get on MML or somewhere, some other cities must have.
Somebody's gotta have concession stand in the park. So
Mhm.
And they'll like shared, I mean, they do, they enter into agreements with soccer clubs, baseball clubs, whatever. Tennis clubs, people that wanna do, yoga in the park.
people want to do surveys.
Now you did it.
I know how I did it. Okay, are they gonna be good, wanting to pay for it? Are they gonna expect us to pay for it? Are they,
I'll discuss it, and their backup plan is bring a generator,
okay,
so, and I'll just tell the guys, like, you need to hold off, because we may need to pull permits, because it needs to be done right if it's the city's property, it has got to be done right.
Right, and
We're
only
not gonna do no halfway job. So,
way to catch yourself.
yes,
I was waiting for it.
I have the diplomatic muscles.
There you go.
all right, anything else from the DPW?
Nope.
Okay, next one is DDA. Same with me. We had a late facade grant application. We had the previous month had approved three of them. If I'm remembering it correctly, had a fourth one that we declined because it wasn't fully baked. They didn't have enough quotes, but we had another one come in. It was kind of not fully ready to go. We put some stipulations back on her before we would approve it to come back to the next meeting. So it had to do with painting the building, VGs, painting the building and putting a awning out in front. So. And then we talked about the master survey plan. Those questions. And then we had training, sorry. That was it.
You forgot the most important things.
We did.
We had popcorn.
Oh, that's right. We got popcorn for watching the training.
It worked.
It was
too.
very good, yeah.
It worked too.
It smells so good in here. We had
Yeah.
fresh popcorn.
I was not offered popcorn.
It's because you denied your training, so I told her, don't pop it.
No. All right. Finance meeting.
We didn't meet tonight, but last month we took care of whatever's in this, so.
We discussed it during council, yeah.
Okay. All right, library.
I was absent. Tresha resigned, which we did that. They nominated Sarah for the vice president and Caitlin for the president. It looks like, I don't know, those, in that situation, that's where we have to have them write something to us here.
Not for them, within your
For them
board,
just nominate.
yeah, whatever you guys do within your board for your officers, that's fine, but the city council has to appoint the person to the board.
Okay.
On and off.
On and off. Okay, that makes sense. It looks like they had a visitor, Sarah. I think she's one that might become a new board member. I'm not exactly sure. That was just something that was discussed as well. Let's see here. Regular board meetings. They approved the expenditures. Oh, we did talk about the parade. And them doing a float as well, because we wanted to get the library involved with that. They are gonna start doing the book sale again at the festival time. They are starting story time in May. And then they're gonna start doing it again in June. Looks like too that they got approval for a new printer. They wanted to discuss the new, actually, they did sign up for new trainings for the library too, because I know when I joined the library myself, we've had a hard time keeping members, so we never really went on with it until now, because I think we got a pretty good board now. So they did end up signing up for that to do training, which I think is amazing. And it looks like they're gonna talk to an artist in Perry about being able to do story time or some kind of art activity in the park. It's 2 pages, jeez. New business.
So Sarah.
Okay, they did get the new trustee man. They were asking for those, because those ones a couple people didn't have. And the mission, the objective of the library. I think Caitlin was going over all of that. And it looks like Sarah is joining. She's gonna submit her letter to
But
city
she
hall.
didn't, yeah,
She didn't set it yet,
Right.
okay. And that's all. I
Thank
missed a
you.
lot.
So, a couple things for us that weren't covered at the library meeting is that, with the renewal is coming up for that CD. And I had asked, I mean, you guys want me to pull that $1,000 out? I can. But, I mean, the library has enough money that they don't, I mean, I can just roll it over, or I can pull that $1,000 out, but it looks like the short-term CDs are actually paying more right now, so I could tie it up like 4 to 6 months.
I think that they would have been fine with that, the 4 to 6.
So, I mean, that's what I asked.
Because I did talk to Sandra about that, and that's my bad, I'm sorry.
So,
But you need to get their approvals. too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just renew the CD for 4 to 6 months, and then, I mean, I
I would do it to the 4 to 6. I know that Sandra and I. had
mean, I
talked
don't
about
know that the
different ways.
library needs that $1,000 right now, so.
Right.
I mean, and then this is that money, I think is something else that the board should talk about and have some kind of agreement on, like, what the plan is? for
Yes,
that
because
money?
we had talked about that with what we
Right.
were gonna do with the lump sum. Now, when we were talking about that, is there a specific amount that you recommend? Because obviously you handling the budget and seeing what we bring in and whatnot. What amount do you think that we should have set if we needed to pull out money, like lump sum amount,
Well, so that money,
the minimal amount, I guess I should say,
no, so that money was meant for, like, it was donated money for a new
to build a
building.
new building?
Right.
Right.
So I feel like I think somebody needs to define, are we actually building a new library?
Well, we wanted the building next door, and that was the issue, is because of COVID, we actually had an architect come in and give us numbers
Right,
on
right.
that, which you already know.
That's where that
dealt with it.
$1,000 is.
Yeah,
But what I'm
so that was the
suggesting
issue.
is,
We do want a building. It's just finding the other money to be able to do it. I don't know.
right,
if we're
so
gonna
what
have
I'm
to do
saying is that I
fundraising or
feel
whatnot
like,
for
you know,
it.
we don't have to solve it tonight, but I think that we should have something in writing for the library board. and the
Stating that
city
it's only
council
for
that
that. fund.
says that money will be used for a new building.
Okay.
Period. Or whatever it is you guys
I'll bring it to the
decide,
next
and this,
meeting.
because the both groups need to agree with that, because that money was donated to
Yep.
the city library, which doesn't put it just in the control of the library, right? And I think it was never intended to be used for, you know, well, if we're short on our budget, we should pull 20,000 out, which I'm
Right.
not saying we've done that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying that
No, agree.
as people change, people need to know
What
what
that
that
money's
is
there
for,
That has
That
been
makes
talked,
sense.
right?
doing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I feel like it should be something in some sort of a document
Yeah.
that everyone is aware of.
Nope, I agree. And I know
So-
that the library did too. We
Yeah.
just, we had members drop off and it was like, we haven't had a
Right.
chance to resolve it, but
So
yeah. I'll
that's
bring it
all
up
I'm
to them.
saying is that I think
No,
that
that's
that
fine.
should stay in the forefront of everybody's mind, and we need to
For
get
sure.
something taken care of.
Okay,
And then unless I hear any other complaint, I'm just gonna renew that CD.
I
And
think that they'll be okay
4
with
to
that.
6 months, we can look at it
Yeah.
again, or you have time to talk about it.
Yep, nope, that's perfect. I'll send out. Yeah.
Okay. One other thing that's on the list, reminder, we have a meeting, the 15th. 7 o'clock at Fire Hall. It's a combination of all the committees. And everybody's been made aware of it, so.
I have 2 speakers lined up. Alan Edwin Holmes, they're gonna talk about the railroad project, and then, Connie from the Sparrow Consulting for the marijuana. So, I told her to be familiar with our ordinances, to be able to answer you guys' questions. I kind of thought we would promote this a little bit, maybe do coffee, water, and cookies or something like that.
That's at that special meeting at Fire Hall.
Does that work?
Yep, I
Everybody?
wrote it on my calendar.
We have to be there at 6:45, right?
Yeah, because we're gonna do our quick 15-minute special meeting first, and then we're gonna have the joint meeting. With the marijuana lady.
There you go. The joint meeting. Well, I think we need to have brownies.
I know, I suggested that. I said, oh, I guess we're gonna have brownies. But anyway, so unless there's something else, I mean,
Dan
I,
turned his head.
you know, I think those 2 will probably take up enough time with everybody talking and asking questions, so. Then we just have others, so people can just talk about whatever they want.
Perfect. Anything else?
I do have one other thing. So there's another grant coming up for, it's called the RAP 2.0. It's for revitalization and placemaking, and I think it fits right up to help fund our road for the housing development. You can ask for up to $5 million. So, I'm gonna be looking into that. I got a copy of the, guidelines for everybody to look at. So. Hopefully,
When do you guys know about, for us, okay?
this one,
Yeah.
I'm not sure when this one is. It just opened today, but I feel like it's due the end of June. And then we would know in the fall whether we were funded or not. And, then you can ask up to $5 million or 50% of eligible costs, so.
Somebody's vibrating.
Oh, sure, I mean, I kept check mine, it's not me.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I turned him down, man.
So, just to give you a heads up that we'll probably be bringing something in June. For that.
Hope this clip works on all.
Minimum grant award is 500,000.
That should cover it, you think?
Yeah,
I mean, we don't even really know what it would cost yet or what all we're gonna need there, so I think that. I mean, something's gonna have to be put together and find out. No, we could put in houses up to the road we have, but, you know, I mean. They're also talking about this other property, they asked me to give them information about. The one by the car wash. So, and then there's the Tree Street property too, so.
Oh.
Just saying,
I think the one there by the car wash would be great for apartments.
High rise.
And do maybe storefronts underneath or
Stories.
something, if possible.
we looked at that, but.
I mean. Be
we
like
need
city of
housing more than we
Plainville.
need new commercial. But that's all I got.
all right. A motion to.
I make a motion.
Second,
A second.
meeting is adjourned.
Wow.